Hey everybody, this is Charlie Dobbins, the multifamily attorney and the founder of the Multifamily Investing Academy, and I'd like to welcome you to this week's video blog. And we just finished our Monday night coaching call, and so I'm going to give you kind of a recap on some of the topics we talked about. As a matter of fact, I'm only going to talk to you about one particular topic, and that particular topic happens to be how much money do you need to close a deal? All right, how much money do you need to have? Not the earnest money deposit, but what we're talking about is how much money do you need to actually get in there and potentially lose if the deal doesn't go through. All right. In other words, what are my real hard costs when I'm analyzing the deal? So what I did, and this goes to the due diligence process. And in my due diligence seminar that we have online that all my owner forum members get, and if you're not in the owner forum, you can purchase it separately. But what happens is it explains to you step by step how to go through the multifamily due diligence process. And the way I've set it up is such that I'm trying to make it so that you spend as little as possible until you absolutely have to spend money. So the way it works, just think about the process of making offers all the way down to the closing of the deal. And what checks do you have to stroke in order to make that happen? Well, making offers doesn't cost anything. So you can get out there and make offers all day long, and it doesn't cost you a dime. You get an accepted letter of intent, and then you move on to the purchase and sale stage. Now, obviously, if you're going to engage an attorney, they're going to send you a bill. If you decide you want to try to do it on your own, which I don't recommend, well, then you're going to not spend any money. But really, folks, it's hiring an attorney to help you through the purchase and sale stage is money well spent. If you're in the owner forum, I act like your attorney. We use my contracts, we use all of my documents, and then you send them to your attorney. Once we get them completed, you send them to your attorney so that you can save money, obviously, but also get the blessing of a local attorney who knows the jurisdiction that you're buying the property in. So that's what happens with the attorney expenses, the legal expenses during the purchase and sale stage. Okay. Now what happens is we get the deal under contract and we begin to proceed forward. Okay. Earnest money deposit has to be stroked, has to be cut. Now, I'm not going to talk about the earnest money because that's going to be unique to that particular deal. What I want to talk about here in this conversation is how about those other expenses? What can I expect to spend for those other charges? Okay, here's the deal. You're going to start the due diligence process by doing what I call the financial due diligence. And that is the financial analysis of the property in the confines of your own home office. You do not travel to the property. I love these guys that get a deal in the contract. Well, I got to go buy an airline ticket and I got to fly down there. No, don't do it. What you're going to do is you're going to get all the financial due diligence information in your office, and then you're going to rebuild those financials to make sure that this property is what they have told you it is. And if it isn't, you kill the deal in 2 weeks and you move on to the next one. Don't waste your time. Don't waste any more effort. If the property cannot pass the financial due diligence process, kill it. You can do that in 2 weeks. The second 2 weeks of a 30-day inspection period, if that's what you've got, is what you do for the physical inspection. So the property just passed muster. Now it's time to get off your duff and go take a look at it. Now, this is probably going to be the first time you spend money, especially if you have to travel to go see it. You're going to pay for hotels, airline, rental cars, all of that stuff you're going to have to spend. That's your first number that you have to budget. Once you get out there and you take a look at the property and everything looks great. Well, hold on. I kind of jumped ahead a little bit there. When you get out there, you have to do the physical inspection of the property. Now, when I first got started in this business, I used a third-party property inspection company to do the inspections, okay? I don't do that anymore. I do it myself, with the exception of the large infrastructure type of things, HVAC, roof, foundation, those types of things. I hire a professional to get out there and inspect for me. I am not qualified. And not only that, but I also want to make sure that, when we go to raise private money for this deal, I've got a third-party report from my inspector showing my investors, I have looked at this deal, and this deal is what the deal looks like. So that's the type of thing you want to take into consideration. Now, how do you pay for that, or how much is that going to cost you? Folks, when I was doing the inspections, I would go through every single unit by myself. I and my partner, if I had a partner there, we would go through every single unit. I could look at a unit in not even 8 minutes, less than 8 minutes, every single unit. And we would get in, we would look for what we're looking for, and we'd get out. Now, the reason why I don't have a property inspector doing that is because I don't need him to go through every single unit to tell me what's going on. I know better than he does what it is that I need to know about that unit from a physical inspection. And here's what I need to know. I need to know that if I am going to own this property tomorrow and the people that are living here today move out the following day, what is it going to take me to turn this unit? How bad is this unit? Or, maybe it's a light turn and we can not spend a whole lot of money. That's the type of information that I want when I'm looking at these units, going through, getting back to the buyer and saying, hey, this place is a dog, or this place looks fantastic. The physical inspection company doesn't give me that type of information. That's what I really need, okay? And also, keep in mind, the most important part of the physical inspection is when you're sitting in the office, going through all the leases, going through the lease files. That is the number one most important part of the inspection process. Okay, so we paid for the travel. We might have to pay for a physical inspector to get out there and do it. We might be able to negotiate a deal with a property management company that we're going to use a qualified person with their company who will do it for free if we give them the property management business. All right. I talk about that in that due diligence course as well. Okay. So we get to that point. Now we're down to the end of the 30 days. Now we're at the end of the inspection period. What do we do now? We either kill it or we accept the terms and we move on, and we renegotiate the terms and move on. So that's what happens at the 30th day. How much have I spent? Up to this point, I got earnest money sitting in a bank account, and I've already burnt out a couple of, $100 for travel. All right. Now I'm in the financial inspection period, the financial contingency period. This is where I start to work with the bank, and the bank wants money. But here's what you need to know. You never cut a check to a bank to do business with them. The only way the bank gets money is on a success basis. If the deal goes through, the bank makes their money. If you find some scammer on LinkedIn, like so many of my students have, where they are going out there saying, well, yeah, I can get you all the money you need. I'm going to need a $3,500 application fee. That's what you're going to need. And then we're going to talk about all the other stuff. Folks, if you find somebody like that, let me just tell you, the money is a one-way street. You are sending them money. They're never going to send you a dime. Happens all. The guy the FBI cracked down on this guy, went to jail because of it. I can't remember the name of the company, and I don't want to misspeak because that'd be ugly. So I'm not going to say who it was, but I think if you go back and I think one of the victims of this scam was the former mayor of San Diego. Do a Google search on that and see what pops up. So that is so you don't do any type of a fee to a bank. Everything is done on a success basis, but you do need to pay for what we call third-party reports. Okay, third-party reports. That means that when you are looking, I'm going to take my glasses off there so I can see for a second. The third-party reports are such that they're for surveys, appraisals, P&As, PCRs, physical needs assessments, or property condition reports, where they send their own engineer out there to take a look at the property. So that's those types of reports you do have to write a check for And that goes to the lender, to the bank, but it doesn't go into their pocket. They use that to go out and pay their vendors who are going to do that for them. All right. So just keep that in mind. This is money that when the deal is done, if it doesn't go through, look, sorry, pal, that's a cost of doing business. If the deal does go through, you've built into the acquisition fee, you've built into your own sources and uses funds enough money to pay yourself back and be reimbursed for all that money that you put out initially. So that is what you have to do. Those are the typical expenses. I'm not going to get into the closing costs and what have you, because those are all going to be financed in the deal, or they should be financed in the deal. So that means the deal's going to get done. Everyone's going to get paid. You're happy, and you're going to get all your expenses back that you built in, that you expended when you first got this deal into contract. So that is really what you have to think about. How much do you need for this? It depends upon the size of the deal. And one of my students, who is a commercial mortgage broker, is going to be sending all of my students a kind of like a cheat sheet analysis to give you a better understanding of what it's going to cost you in order to come up with the expenses. So that is how it works. That is what you can expect to see. This is the type of stuff we talk about in the owner forum. I want all my students to be incredibly educated and know what happens when they get their deals going on. And that's the beauty of the owner forum. It's a real deal, guys. I had a let me just read this to you. I had a bunch of surveys done. I spoke in Atlanta last week, and I finally asked the students. I said, "Hey, what do you can you kind of like say nice things about me, or tell me about my program. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like." And so I got these guys to give me some really good reviews, and I got one that I want to read to you. Shoot, what did I do with it? Where is that? Hey, bear with me here, folks. It's a very funny one, so you might want to stick around. But it gives you a vision of what. Let me see. Good to meet Charles in person. Great event. Great content. Shoot, what did I? Oh, here it is right here. All right, move it right down to the end. All right, listen to this. This is one of the reviews. Real stuff here, folks. Absolutely loved it. Still need some time to digest and process some of the topic specifics, but it was incredibly beneficial. I would sit through another day of the same class, which says a lot. I also wasn't willing to get up to go to the bathroom for fear of missing something. My apologies to the cleaning crew. Oh, okay. All right. So that's the end of tonight's vlog. It's a late night. I'm going home. I'm going to call it a day. And folks, if I can do anything to help you in your endeavors to own multifamily property, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. I'd love to see you in the owner forum. It is a great group of people. It's so much fun. And I look forward to seeing you on next week's vlog. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.